Amid that storm of debris, a massive golden hoof suddenly burst forward, smashing through countless rocks as it charged directly toward Luo Feng. "Get lost!" Luo Feng moved instantly. A dazzling silver light flashed across the darkness. The 4 silver wings on his back expanded, their edges becoming incomparably sharp. In a single motion, Luo Feng unleashed his blade technique, Golden Light, and met the incoming attack head-on. The silver wings slammed against the scales covering the golden hoof. The collision shook the surrounding space as both sides were forced backward. The golden horned lizard was thrown away after crashing into flying rocks, while Luo Feng himself was pushed back by the enormous impact. For a brief moment, neither side gained an advantage. This exchange immediately revealed something important. Yin Tuo's physical strength was terrifying. Despite Luo Feng's numerous treasures and techniques, he still couldn't overwhelm his opponent through brute force alone. The golden-horned lizard roared loudly. "Good wings! They can be so powerful when used as a blade." Luo Feng simply smiled. What Yin Tuo didn't know was that he was only seeing a fraction of the true mystery. Behind the Shiwu wings, ever since the spirit of the Shiwu wings had awakened, Luo Feng had gained access to fragments of its ancient memories. Through those memories, he gradually learned the true purpose of this legendary treasure. To most people, the Shiwu wings appeared to be a mobility treasure, capable of controlling time and space. But in reality, their greatest purpose was combat. The 6 pairs of wings were designed like parts of a weapon. 5 pairs acted as support structures, while the damaged white wings at the top were the true core. One served as the blade's edge, while the other functioned like its hilt. This was why those damaged white wings were so important. Their cutting power far surpassed the other wings. After absorbing origin energy and beginning their restoration process, they had evolved beyond ordinary treasures and reached the level of a unique object. Even when used independently, they were comparable to a pinnacle true treasure weapon. In other words, Luo Feng wasn't merely carrying a pair of wings. He was carrying an ancient divine blade disguised as wings. Luo Feng immediately drew his absolute guest blade. "Yin Tuo, you think I'm afraid of you? You're merely an undying life form. Crushing you would be easy." The moment his words fell, Luo Feng transformed into a streak of light. He darted through the countless flying rocks, stepped heavily on a shattered rock over 10,000 kilometers wide, and launched himself directly toward the golden-horned lizard. What arrogance! Yin Tuo exploded with fury. Lowering his head, he pointed his horn forward and charged straight at Luo Feng. But before he could reach him, an endless sea of golden flames suddenly erupted. The blazing flames ocean and golden kingdom overlapped. 2 powerful domain treasures now controlled the battlefield simultaneously. For viewers unfamiliar with these treasures, domain-type treasures are among the most valuable treasures in the universe. Ocean. Instead of focusing solely on attack power, they allow their owners to suppress enemies, manipulate space, and control entire battlefields. When 2 domain treasures work together, their combined pressure can become overwhelming. Golden light illuminated the battlefield. Silver radiance followed. Luo Feng attacked with both his absolute guest blade and the sharp edge of his wing simultaneously. Golden light erupted. Empowered by both domain treasures, his attacks rained down upon Yin Tuo's skull. Each collision produced tiny cracks in space itself. The surrounding void trembled under the pressure of their clash. Yet even after such a fierce assault, neither side could gain a decisive advantage. Both combatants were repeatedly blasted backward while enormous rocks traveling at 100 times the speed of light crashed through the battlefield around them. Yin Tuo laughed coldly. "You need time-space control and 2 domain treasures just to fight me evenly. Your godly body and techniques are still weak. I refuse to believe you can't be killed here in God-destroying Valley." Luo Feng merely snorted. Because Yin Tuo was wrong about one very important thing. Luo Feng had not revealed his true strength. Throughout the battle, he had deliberately restrained Golden Kingdom's power. Even now, he wasn't using its maximum capabilities. Normally, Golden Kingdom and Blazing Flames, Ocean together were already strong enough to suppress many top-tier domain treasures. But Golden Kingdom possessed an even greater secret. At full power, it could reach the level of a unique object. Its strength would become comparable to the Pinnacle Domain, treasures used by legendary universe masters such as Primal Chaos City Leader and Star River Master. This was one of Luo Feng's hidden trump cards. However, there was a reason he refused to use it. The more strength he displayed, the more attention the Shuwu wings would attract. And in the universe ocean, powerful treasures often attracted powerful enemies. As long as Yin Tuo couldn't force him into a desperate situation, Luo Feng had no intention of exposing his greatest secrets. Yin Tuo, Luo Feng said calmly, one exchange is enough. I don't have time to waste on you. A gigantic blade formed from endless flames suddenly emerged from the blazing flames ocean. The massive flaming weapon immediately charged toward Yin Tuo. Meanwhile, Luo Feng simply turned around and flew away at top speed. Only a portion of his consciousness remained behind to control the blazing blade. Boom! Although the blazing flames blade lacked the destructive power needed to kill, Yin Tuo it was more than capable of slowing him down. You human! Don't run! Yin Tuo roared. But Luo Feng continued accelerating into the distance. Behind him, Yin Tuo repeatedly smashed through the attacks of the blazing blade while stubbornly maintaining pursuit. You'll never catch me, Luo Feng said. And you can't do anything to me. Why keep chasing? Then his expression suddenly changed. Far ahead, a gigantic lava whirlpool was raging. The black rocky land was breaking apart while colossal rocks spun around the vortex like dancing stars. Luo Feng laughed. So that's your plan. At that moment, he finally understood Yin Tuo's intentions. The golden-horned lizard wasn't simply chasing him. He had been trying to lure Luo Feng toward the center of the lava whirlpool. Yin Tuo, did you think I didn't know about the annihilation? Whirlwind hidden. Inside the core of the lava whirlpool? The moment those words echoed across the battlefield, Yin Tuo froze. His heart shook. How could Luo Feng know? The annihilation whirlwind was one of God-destroying Valley's greatest secrets. Invisible, undetectable, almost impossible to discover. Even many powerful forces knew nothing about it. Yin Tuo's original plan had been simple. Once Luo Feng approached the whirlpool's center, he would trigger the hidden danger and use the terrifying force of the annihilation whirlwind to kill him. Countless universe masters would be annihilated instantly if caught inside. Escape would be nearly impossible. Yet somehow Luo Feng already knew. This revelation completely shattered Yin Tuo's scheme. For viewers, this moment demonstrates one of the most important survival rules in the universe ocean. Raw power isn't everything. Information can be just as deadly as strength. Knowing where danger lies often means the difference between life and death. Yin Tuo burned with frustration. Meanwhile, Luo Feng laughed loudly and continued flying away. Then suddenly, a shocking change occurred. The violent lava whirlpool shattered enormous amounts of rock and debris, exposing something that had remained hidden for countless years. A gigantic deep blue planet ship slowly emerged from beneath the ruins. It was heavily damaged, ancient, weathered by endless ages, yet the aura surrounding it was still astonishingly powerful. True treasure! Yin Tuo shouted instantly. It really is a true treasure, Luo Feng exclaimed. Both experts immediately rushed toward it. This was no ordinary discovery. The three most dangerous regions of the universe boat were famous for producing some of the most valuable treasures in existence. Even the legendary huge axe, Creator had once obtained a supreme true treasure from such dangerous lands. After a quick evaluation, Luo Feng reached a conclusion. Despite its damage, this planet ship possessed the aura of a top-tier flying palace true treasure. Such treasures were extraordinarily valuable. Palace treasures specialized in defense and survival. Flying palace treasures were even rarer because they combined mobility with protection. More importantly, the fact that this treasure had survived the brutal environment of God-destroying Valley proved just how extraordinary it truly was. It's mine! Yin Tuo roared. Luo Feng laughed. You think it's yours because you said so? Golden light instantly spread outward. Because Luo Feng controlled the surrounding domain, he reacted first. The moment the treasure emerged, Golden Kingdom wrapped around it and pulled it directly toward Luo Feng. At the same time, Luo Feng sent his godly power into the treasure to begin claiming it. Yin Tuo watched helplessly, his face twisted with anger. He had spent countless years waiting inside, God-destroying Valley for opportunities exactly like this. Yet at the crucial moment, Luo Feng had arrived and seized the reward. Ha ha ha, a top-tier flying true treasure. Luo Feng was delighted. Even damaged, this discovery was worth the entire trip. Meanwhile, far away on the opposite side of the lava whirlpool, two figures suddenly emerged from a hidden cave. Both belonged to the Divine Eye clan. The moment they saw the commotion, they rushed toward the battlefield. The lava whirlpool has appeared? There may be treasures. Then they noticed the deep blue planet ship. Moments later, they noticed Yin Tuo. And finally, they noticed the human standing closest to the treasure, Golden Light. Silver Wings. The answer was obvious. That's Silver Wings' horde leader. And just like that, what had started as a conflict between Luo Feng and Yin Tuo was about to attract even more powerful participants. The members of the Divine Eye clan immediately recognized the famous human from the original universe. Yes, it's Silver Wings' horde leader. One of them mocked Luo Feng, saying that his only real advantage was his powerful wing-type true treasure. In their eyes, someone with Luo Feng's level of strength had no business entering a deadly place like God-destroying valley. This reaction also reveals an important reality of the universe. Ocean, reputation alone isn't enough. No matter how famous someone becomes, true respect comes from demonstrated combat strength. The Divine Eye clan had every reason to be confident. They were the most powerful pinnacle race of the first reincarnation era, far stronger and more united than organizations like the Ancestral God School. Luo Feng quickly identified the newcomers. One was Ultimate Arrow Master. The other was the far more dangerous 5 Chaos Master, Ultimate Arrow. Master was already a powerful Universe Master comparable to Ice Mountain Master and possessed a pinnacle domain-type true treasure. But 5 Chaos Master was on an entirely different level. His strength was said to rival Primal Chaos City Leader himself. Not only did he possess a pinnacle domain-type true treasure, but he also owned a pinnacle palace-type true treasure. Furthermore, he cultivated 5 different beast god paths, making him one of the most terrifying experts of the first reincarnation era. Even Luo Feng felt the pressure. Inwardly, he admitted that Ultimate Arrow Master was manageable. 5 Chaos Master was not. Luo Feng couldn't help feeling frustrated. Since entering the Universe Boat, he had already encountered several powerful Universe Masters, and now one of the strongest among them had appeared right in front of him. At the same time, Luo Feng recalled valuable information about God-destroying valley. Beneath the black rocky land existed countless caves and maze-like tunnels. These underground labyrinths were actually much safer than the surface, because teleportation was allowed inside them. Whoever knew the safe routes could move freely and even avoid the terrifying Molten Lava Devil Gods. The Divine Eye clan and the Ancestral God School had spent countless years studying these mazes and had accumulated precious knowledge about safe pathways. Jai Fanzi's map, however, did not contain such information. The reason was simple. Jai Fanzi had been so powerful that he never needed to rely on those tunnels. His attention had always been focused on the deeper and more valuable regions of the Universe Boat. Soon, Ultimate Arrow Master laughed loudly. He mocked Yin Tuo for failing to seize a treasure from Luo Feng. To experts of their level, humiliation between rivals was common. Even members of the same reincarnation era constantly competed against one another. 5 Chaos Masters simply snorted. At that moment, water ripples spread through space. The flames around Luo Feng were suppressed as a powerful domain expanded outward from 5 Chaos Master. Yin Tuo immediately became furious and challenged them to prove their superiority by taking the treasure themselves. Ultimate Arrow Master confidently accepted the challenge. Meanwhile, Luo Feng carefully observed everything. One lesson from this scene is that powerful forces are rarely completely united. Even among top experts, personal interests and rivalries often create conflict. However, Luo Feng's attention remained focused on a single person, 5 Chaos Master, because he knew that this individual represented the true threat. Luo Feng understood another cruel truth of the Universe Ocean. Only the original universe could produce Universe Supreme Masters. Once a reincarnation era ended, those Universe Masters lost the opportunity to advance further. That was why even someone as talented as 5 Chaos Master remained, trapped at his current level forever. Soon, the damaged spaceship, true treasure, shrank rapidly until it became the size of a fist and landed in Luo Feng's hand. The sight immediately intensified everyone's greed. Ultimate Arrow Master demanded that Luo Feng surrender both the spaceship and his wing-type true treasure. Five Chaos Master also gave Luo Feng a final warning. Hand over the treasures and avoid unnecessary suffering. But Luo Feng only laughed. He repeated a truth that had already been proven many times. Anyone can threaten. The final outcome is determined by strength. Five Chaos Master immediately acted. His water ripple prison erupted. Endless energy transformed into gigantic heavenly pillars. Then an enormous palm appeared. The palm stretched for 10 billion kilometers. Each finger displayed a different color, representing the 5 beast god paths cultivated by Five Chaos Master. The attack descended toward Luo Feng. Looking upward, Luo Feng was shocked. The palm covered the sky itself. Compared to this attack, the gigantic rocks of God-destroying valley seemed insignificant. For the first time, Luo Feng directly experienced the terrifying power of someone standing at the level of primal Chaos City leader. Without Golden Country, he knew he might be killed in a single strike. Ultimate Arrow Master smiled confidently. Even Yin Tuo believed Luo Feng was finished. Yet at that very moment, golden light erupted. Golden Country expanded violently. The countless water ripples were torn apart and expelled. An enormous region spanning tens of light years became dominated by golden light. Water ripple prison vanished, and the gigantic palm disappeared with it. Everyone was stunned. Yin Tuo could hardly believe what he had witnessed. Ultimate Arrow Master was equally shocked. After all, Water Ripple Prison was still a pinnacle domain-type true treasure, and it was being used by Five Chaos Master himself. For the first time, Five Chaos Master narrowed his eyes. Instead of looking at Luo Feng, he stared directly at the wings on Luo Feng's back. Greed appeared. Now he truly understood the value of Shiwu wings. He demanded the treasure one final time. Luo Feng's eyes turned red. His answer was simple. Just fight! Up until now, Luo Feng had intentionally concealed much of Shiwu Wing's true power. He wanted to avoid attracting unnecessary attention. But facing Five Chaos Master, he no longer had that luxury. Five Chaos Master praised Luo Feng's confidence. Then he attacked again. This time he personally charged forward at nearly 100 times the speed of light. A giant single-eyed phantom appeared above him. Suddenly, the entire world changed. Luo Feng and Yin Tuo found themselves trapped inside a completely different realm. A giant eye hung in the sky, watching everything below. 5 different colors filled the world. It was Five Chaos Master's terrifying secret technique. Inside this special world, Water Ripple Prison combined with the power of the realm itself. The attack's strength multiplied dramatically. 5 colored energy condensed into enormous fingers that reached toward Luo Feng. This time, even Luo Feng felt genuine danger. Golden Country alone was no longer enough. Its power was being overwhelmed. Without hesitation, Luo Feng unleashed another trump card. Miniature Universe. Endless chaotic airflow spread throughout the world. Combined with Golden Country, its power surged upward. The giant fingers shattered once more. Then Luo Feng counterattacked relentlessly. Again and again. He used Miniature Universe and Golden Country to bombard the surrounding world. The price was enormous energy consumption, but the strategy worked. At the same time, the Lava Whirlpool outside continued battering the realm. Eventually, the entire world collapsed. Five Chaos Master looked at Luo Feng with renewed respect. The wings had once again exceeded his expectations. Then strange black scales appeared across his body. His golden right hand emerged. Clearly, he was finally preparing to use his full power. He even admitted that he had previously used such power against Luo Feng's teacher. Yet now, he needed it against Luo Feng. But Luo Feng suddenly smiled. A strange smile. Five Chaos Master immediately sensed something wrong. He looked upward. Then his expression changed completely. A gigantic arm emerged from the lava ocean above. The terrifying Molten Lava Devil God had appeared. The moment it appeared, everyone reacted. Yin Tuo fled instantly. Ultimate Arrow Master became alarmed. Even Five Chaos Master chose retreat without hesitation. This alone demonstrates the terrifying reputation of the Molten Lava Devil God. Even experts, who feared almost nothing, were unwilling to face it directly. Yet just as they tried to escape, endless golden light and flames suddenly expanded. Luo Feng trapped Five Chaos Master, Ultimate Arrow Master, and Yin Tuo within his domain. Madness flashed in his eyes. Go? Nobody is going anywhere. Five Chaos Master looked toward the molten lava. Devil God emerging from the lava ocean high above, and immediately sensed that something was wrong. Although he remained calm on the surface, inwardly he understood that a major crisis was approaching. What makes this moment important is that 5 Chaos Master is not an ordinary expert. Throughout the universe ocean, he stands among the highest-tier universe masters. When someone at his level starts feeling uneasy, it shows just how terrifying the Molten Lava Devil God truly is. Even so, 5 Chaos Master wasn't panicking yet. Based on the distance between himself and the Molten Lava Devil God, he calculated that he still had enough time to escape. His plan was simple. Reach the tangency point hidden, deep inside the underground maze, and then teleport away. However, there was a problem. The surrounding space was frozen, making teleportation impossible. Even the entrances to the underground maze could not be used for teleportation. Only at the deepest regions of the cave system did spatial fluctuations begin to appear. To escape, one first had to reach those special locations. Looking toward Luo Feng, 5 Chaos Master said coldly, "How lucky that human was. If Molten Lava Devil God had not appeared, I would give him a taste of my 5 beasts' great extermination." This statement wasn't empty boasting. 5 Chaos Master had always held extremely high standards. Among the younger generation of universe masters from the primal universe, very few were worthy of his attention. Even Star River Master, a unique life form with tremendous power, was not considered a serious threat by him. The only person who truly earned his respect was Primal Chaos City Leader. And there's an important lesson here about power scaling in this arc. 5 Chaos Master's ultimate technique, the 5 Beasts' Great Extermination, was the fusion of the strongest techniques from all 5 Beast God paths. After spending more than an entire reincarnation perfecting it, he created a terrifying killing move that very few could withstand. Yet despite that overwhelming power, Primal Chaos City Leader could still fight him head-on. That alone shows why 5 Chaos Master regarded Primal Chaos City Leader as the most likely candidate from the Primal universe to eventually become a Universe Supreme Master. But before 5 Chaos Master could leave, Chi! Golden flames suddenly spread throughout the area. An endless pressure descended from all directions. It felt as though countless invisible chains were wrapping around him. 5 Chaos Master's expression changed instantly. What? He turned around and stared at Luo Feng in disbelief. Without interference, escape would have been easy. With this suppression, he no longer had enough time. At that moment, Luo Feng's voice echoed throughout the Golden Kingdom. "No one leaves!" The atmosphere changed immediately. Ultimate Arrow Master, who had been confident moments earlier, suddenly became anxious. "Human Silverwing's Horde Leader, are you out of your mind?" For the first time, death was no longer a distant possibility. It was a real threat. Even Yin Tuo panicked. "Silverwing's Horde Leader, I've already given up trying to kill you. They want your treasures, not me." Meanwhile, 5 Chaos Masters stared at Luo Feng with icy fury. "Are you planning to perish together?" Luo Feng laughed. "Perish together? This is my territory. You are the ones who will die while I live." This is one of the biggest strategic reversals in the chapter. Earlier, Luo Feng was the hunted. Now, thanks to the arrival of the Molten Lava Devil God and the control provided by his domains, the hunters had become trapped prey. 5 Chaos Master quickly tried to reason with him. He explained that if he unleashed 5 Chaos Sector together with Water Ripple Prison, Luo Feng would be forced to respond with Miniature Universe. The result would be mutual destruction of their domains and a complete stalemate. Then he added something important. "I have lived through nearly 3 reincarnation eras. If I die, so be it. But you are still young. Throwing your life away isn't worth it." Ultimate Arrow Master immediately agreed. "Escaping is more important." Yin Tuo nodded frantically. "Yes, staying alive is what matters." But Luo Feng remained completely unmoved. "You have another body, and so do I. If it comes to it, we die together." At this point, Luo Feng wasn't simply fighting with strength. He was fighting psychologically. He understood that his enemies had far more to lose than they wanted to admit. Meanwhile, the Molten Lava Devil God continued advancing. Its power was so terrifying that even Universe Supreme Masters, carrying supreme true treasures, would flee on sight. In the lore of the story, it was often compared to a living supreme true treasure. Its speed surpassed 100 times the speed of light by thousands or even millions of times. And then, Hong! The giant's feet landed on the black rocky land. The impact was unimaginable. A towering body 10 million kilometers tall stepped forward. Hong! 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 Countless black rocks shattered instantly. Pa! 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 Massive gullies tore across the land. Entire regions sank by millions of kilometers. Even underground maze tunnels collapsed beneath the force of a single step. An educational observation here is that the author uses environmental destruction to measure power. Instead of merely saying the Molten Lava Devil God is strong, the novel demonstrates that strength through the devastation caused by a casual movement. For 5 Chaos Master, Ultimate Arrow Master, and Yin Tuo, every step felt like a countdown toward death. 5 Chaos Master finally lost some of his composure. Human, do you really want us all to perish together? Ultimate Arrow Master became increasingly desperate. Hurry, hurry! Yin Tuo was almost begging. Why are you dragging me into this? Yet Luo Feng only laughed. If we all die together, we'll have forged a friendship of life and death. Even in such a deadly situation, Luo Feng continued mocking them. And that was exactly what made his opponents uneasy. Because someone who could still joke in the face of death was clearly not planning to back down. As the Molten Lava Devil God drew closer, 5 Chaos Master's anxiety transformed into rage. Through clenched teeth, he growled, "If you continue this, we will all die. And I swear I will hunt down every one of your bodies and destroy them all." Luo Feng answered without hesitation. "I welcome your attacks. The pressure you create will only help me grow stronger." That response revealed Luo Feng's mentality. To him, powerful enemies were not merely threats. They were stepping stones. Even Ultimate Arrow Master realized it now. Luo Feng had already made his decision. Nothing would change his mind. Yin Tuo tried one last time, but Luo Feng reminded him coldly, "Not long ago you wanted to kill me for my treasures. Now you want to escape? Too late." As the gigantic silhouette of the Molten Lava Devil God loomed larger and larger, 5 Chaos Master was finally pushed to a point few could have imagined. He compromised. "Release the suppression. We can escape together. I swear I won't pursue you. I'll even give you a pinnacle true treasure." This moment highlights just how desperate the situation had become. A being as proud as 5 Chaos Master was now negotiating. Begging even. Every second mattered. The giant continued advancing. Hong! 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 The entire god-destroying valley trembled beneath its footsteps. Ultimate Arrow Master pleaded repeatedly. Yin Tuo regretted staying behind to watch the battle. "And Luo Feng?" He laughed. Then his expression suddenly turned cold. "The mighty 5 Chaos Master is begging? How interesting." His voice became sharp. "Earlier, did any of you think about letting me go? Now you want mercy?" Then Luo Feng returned their earlier offer back to them. 5 Chaos Master, hand over Forbidden Temple and Extermination Godly Armor. Ultimate Arrow Master, hand over Core of Blade Sector. Yin Tuo, hand over Golden Sulphone Armor. Do that, and I'll let you leave. Silence followed. Because everyone understood those treasures were priceless. Extermination Godly Armor alone was comparable to a unique object. There was no way 5 Chaos Master would surrender it. Luo Feng smiled mockingly. "I'm giving you the same chance you gave me. Take it." The pressure continued building. The Molten Lava Devil God was now close enough to dominate the entire battlefield. 5 Chaos Master's sanity was beginning to crack. Finally, he exploded. "Don't think you're leaving here alive." A gigantic single-eyed shadow appeared behind him. Endless light erupted. The world transformed instantly. 5 Chaos Sector descended once again. At the same time, Water Ripple Prison activated. Together, the two domains completely annihilated. Luo Feng's Golden Kingdom and Blazing Flames Ocean. Yet Luo Feng simply smiled. Then he unleashed Miniature Universe. Endless chaotic airflow surged outward. On one side stood 5 Chaos Sector and Water Ripple Prison. On the other stood Golden Kingdom, Miniature Universe, and Blazing Flames Ocean. The two sides collided violently, again and again. The domains smashed into one another with overwhelming force. Finally, ping! Both shattered apart. But the clash lasted only a split second, because during that brief moment, the Molten Lava Devil God had already arrived dangerously close. Looking toward the approaching giant, the golden-horned lizard spoke with complete despair. "It is too late now." Luo Feng, 5 Chaos Master, and Ultimate Arrow Master all stared at the towering Molten Lava Devil God. At this point, everyone understood the same terrifying truth: they had run out of time. Just moments earlier, Luo Feng and 5 Chaos Master had clashed using Miniature Universe and 5 Chaos Sector. Although that confrontation lasted only a single second, it completely changed their fate. For viewers, this is an important detail. In battles between Universe Masters, even 1 second can determine life or death. That brief clash destroyed both techniques and, more importantly, blocked the safest escape route. The safest route had been the underground maze. If they could reach the deeper sections of the cave system, they would eventually find a tangent point where teleportation became possible. But now, it was too late. Yin Tuo was closest to the Molten Lava Devil God. Luo Feng was second closest. 5 Chaos Master and Ultimate Arrow Master were slightly farther away. However, all of them were within 10 billion kilometers of one another. Normally, that distance would seem enormous. But for the Molten Lava Devil God, 10 billion kilometers was merely a single step. Earlier, Luo Feng had offered them a deal. Hand over treasures such as Water Ripple Prison, Forbidden Temple, Extermination Godly Armor, Core of Blade Sector, and Golden Sulphone Armor, and he would release them. But none of them were willing to surrender. Treasures they had spent countless years obtaining. As long as even the slightest chance of survival remained, they would continue fighting. Yin Tuo was the first to act. Damn it, damn it, damn it! The golden one-horned lizard began expanding rapidly. The giant body created by Golden Sulphone Armor continued growing until it reached a staggering height of 100 million kilometers. This was Yin Tuo's final struggle for survival. Meanwhile, 5 Chaos Master made his own decision. A palace surrounded by lightning suddenly appeared. It was Forbidden Palace, a pinnacle flying palace true treasure. Come in, Ultimate Arrow Master. Without hesitation, Ultimate Arrow Master entered. 5 Chaos Master cast one final glance toward Luo Feng before entering the palace himself. At the same time, Luo Feng also summoned his greatest defensive treasure. A bloody pyramid appeared in space. Star Tower. Inside Star Tower was Luo Feng's golden-horned beast body, which possessed the Blood Cloud Pearl. The Blood Cloud Pearl allowed him to disguise appearances, auras, and even the external forms of treasures. For educational context, this is why Star Tower does not always appear in the same shape. Luo Feng can alter its appearance to avoid exposing one of his greatest secrets. This time, he chose the form of a bloody pyramid. Whoosh! Luo Feng entered Star Tower. At this moment, all 4 beings were doing the same thing, surviving. No one had accepted death. Everyone was desperately fighting for the final chance to stay alive. And then, the Molten Lava Devil God arrived. Hong! 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 The black rocky land shattered beneath his feet. His body was covered in blazing lava. His 3 eyes burned with terrifying hostility. Even Luo Feng, 5 Chaos Master, Ultimate Arrow Master, and Yin Tuo did not dare stare directly into those eyes. The mental pressure alone could cut their combat effectiveness in half. His fangs protruded from his mouth. His growls shook space itself. This scene demonstrates why the Molten Lava Devil God was considered one of the most terrifying dangers in God-destroying Valley. He was not merely powerful, he was a natural disaster in humanoid form. Far away, Yin Tuo continued increasing his size. Larger, larger, larger! Then the Molten Lava Devil God moved. His 3 eyes locked onto the gigantic golden lizard. A strange ripple emerged from his mouth. Nobody understood its meaning, but everyone immediately sensed danger. Then came the attack. The Molten Lava Devil God's right leg swept forward. Unlike his previous movements, this kick was unbelievably fast. Luo Feng could not even comprehend the profound mysteries hidden within it. The attack seemed capable of destroying an entire small universe. Ping! The kick landed. The enormous golden lizard exploded. His body shattered into countless fragments that scattered across the battlefield. Even more shocking, cracks appeared on Golden Sulphone Armor itself. A treasure of that level had actually been damaged. For viewers, this demonstrates the absurd power of the Molten Lava Devil God. Most attacks target the user. This attack damaged the treasure protecting the user. As the fragments scattered, countless drops of water rained downward. They slipped into cracks in the black earth and disappeared underground. The Molten Lava Devil God sensed that some life force still remained. He stomped again. Hong! The earth collapsed. Most of the water droplets were annihilated. Only then did the Molten Lava Devil God lift his head. His attention shifted to two flying objects moving through the lava ocean. Star Tower and Forbidden Palace. Both still contained living beings. At nearly the same moment, the two treasures accelerated. Whoosh, whoosh! As Yin Tuo was crushed. Star Tower and Forbidden Palace plunged directly into the lava ocean. The Molten Lava Devil God immediately reacted. Die! His enormous hands reached toward the sea of lava. Meanwhile, deep underground, a single drop of water reached a distant teleportation point. Shua! More than 200 light-years away, inside a hidden underground cave, a small red childlike figure appeared. Yin Tuo had survived. I came back. For viewers, this finally reveals Yin Tuo's greatest secret. He was a unique life form whose body, naturally reduced incoming, attacks to 1/10,000th of their original power. Combined with Golden Sulphone Armor, the damage could be reduced even further. This incredible survivability was the reason he was known as the Undying Yin Tuo. Even so, the Molten Lava Devil God nearly killed him. The first attack damaged Golden Sulphone Armor. The second attack annihilated roughly 90% of his godly body. Only a tiny portion escaped underground in the form of water droplets. As those droplets reunited, Yin Tuo gradually recovered. But his losses were catastrophic. Only 11.2% of his godly body remained. Golden Sulphone Armor had been heavily damaged and could only display a fraction of its former power. Naturally, Yin Tuo was furious. He blamed Luo Feng. He blamed 5 Chaos Master. In his eyes, both were responsible for his losses. Then another thought emerged, a vicious one. Yin Tuo realized Luo Feng had been hiding the true value of his silver wings, and he decided he would expose that secret to everyone. If he had suffered, then Luo Feng and 5 Chaos Master would suffer as well. Back inside the endless lava ocean, Forbidden Palace continued advancing cautiously. 5 Chaos Master and Ultimate Arrow Master sat inside with grim expressions. This was now their only path. 5 Chaos Master planned to travel through the lava ocean and eventually reach Blazing Flames Lake. However, that route was infamous for containing the 7-level calamities. Even Universe Supreme Masters treated that path with caution. Yet 5 Chaos Master had no alternative. He clenched his teeth. His hatred burned stronger than ever. Silverwing's Horde leader, everything that had happened was because of Luo Feng, and he would never forget it. At the center of the Lava Whirlpool, Star Tower followed a different route. The bloody pyramid was pulled toward the heart of the vortex. Inside, Luo Feng remained calm. According to the records left behind by Ji Fanzi, there was a shortcut connecting God-destroying valley to another dangerous region, known as Blazing Water Lake. Normally, this path was almost certain death. The deeper one traveled into the whirlpool, the stronger the crushing force became. Even Pinnacle Palace true treasures could be damaged. But Luo Feng possessed Star Tower, a supreme palace true treasure. That changed everything. What was a death trap for others became the safest path available to him. Luo Feng looked ahead with anticipation. Although the journey would be dangerous, the opportunity was worth the risk. The bloody pyramid that was actually Star Tower continued being dragged deeper and deeper into the center of the lava whirlpool. The deeper it descended, the more terrifying the swallowing force became. This wasn't ordinary gravity anymore. The power at the center of the whirlpool had reached a level where even the laws of the universe seemed to retreat before it. Inside Star Tower, both Luo Feng and his golden horned beast body could feel the entire treasure spinning uncontrollably. Ping! The impacts continuously echoed throughout the tower. Luo Feng was astonished. The only thing he could compare this experience to was the terrifying blade storm region he had encountered before. For viewers, this comparison tells us just how dangerous the center of the lava whirlpool truly was. Star Tower was a supreme palace true treasure, one of the greatest defensive treasures in the entire universe ocean. Yet, even Star Tower could not control its own movement here and was being dragged completely by the whirlpool's power. The speed kept increasing. 300 times light speed, 500 times light speed, 1,000 times light speed, 2,000 times light speed, 5,000 times light speed. The bloody pyramid gradually transformed into a streak of bloody light as it raced through the whirlpool. Inside, Luo Feng felt as though billions of giant hammers were striking. Star Tower simultaneously. Yet instead of fear, he felt relief. Jai Fanzi's records had been correct. The center of the Lava Whirlpool truly was the most dangerous location within Lava Ocean. Even Pinnacle Palace true treasures would eventually be destroyed here. Only Supreme Palace true treasures could safely travel this route. This once again highlighted how fortunate Luo Feng was. Many Universe Supreme Masters possessed supreme treasures. However, supreme treasures came in different categories. Some were weapons, some were defensive armors, some were domain treasures. Very few were palace-type treasures. And without a Supreme Palace true treasure, this shortcut would have been impossible. As Luo Feng continued forward, another thought entered his mind. What happened to 5 Chaos Master? Luo Feng knew that 5 Chaos Master had also entered Lava Ocean in search of survival. But compared to Luo Feng's route, 5 Chaos Master's path was far more dangerous. If he survived, he would be extremely lucky. Meanwhile, inside Forbidden Palace, 5 Chaos Master and Ultimate Arrow Master were struggling through Lava Ocean. Unlike Star Tower, Forbidden Palace could not use the Whirlpool shortcut. They had to advance slowly through the dangerous lava sea itself. Be careful. Ultimate Arrow, guard that side. I'll guard this side. Okay. The 2 Universe Masters cooperated desperately. Both activated their Pinnacle Domain-type true treasures to detect incoming dangers. However, the Lava Ocean was so terrifying that even Pinnacle Domain treasures could only probe a very small surrounding area. Ultimate Arrow Master finally asked the question weighing on his mind. How long before we reach Blazing Water Lake? 5 Chaos Master's answer immediately crushed his hopes. Blazing Water Lake? At our current speed, we've traveled less than 1/10,000th of the journey. Ultimate Arrow Master froze. Less than 1/10,000th? The danger they had already experienced was enough to terrify him, and they had barely begun. For viewers, this reveals why Lava Ocean was considered one of the most dreaded regions inside Universe Boat. Simply surviving. The journey required overwhelming strength, powerful treasures, and incredible endurance. Ultimate Arrow Master was beginning to despair. If he had entered this place alone, he would already be dead. 5 Chaos Master remained focused. Keep fighting. Unlike Ultimate Arrow Master, 5 Chaos Master still possessed another body elsewhere. But that did not mean he was calm. His Extermination Godly Armor, his Forbidden Palace, his countless treasures accumulated across 3 reincarnation eras. Everything was with him. If this body died, the losses would be catastrophic. Therefore, he fought with absolute concentration. At different moments, he controlled Forbidden Palace, then Water Ripple Prison, then one of his countless secret techniques. He continuously adapted to every new danger. Ultimate Arrow Master could do little except assist and pray for survival. Meanwhile, Star Tower continued accelerating. The speed eventually surpassed 100,000 times the speed of light. Even Luo Feng was dazzled by the sight. Then suddenly, after 5 minutes and 33 seconds inside Lava Ocean, ping! A streak of bloody light burst out of the whirlpool. Star Tower had escaped Lava Ocean. However, a new environment awaited. Cold water. Endless cold water. The bloody pyramid shot into a vast lake at over 100,000 times light speed. Hong! 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 The impact was unimaginable. Every drop of water possessed astonishing weight. The collision power alone could have shattered a top-tier palace true treasure. Fortunately, Star Tower remained unharmed. Its speed rapidly dropped, from 100,000 times light speed, to 10,000, to 1,000, to 100. At the same time, Star Tower was enduring an extreme environmental transition. Moments. Earlier, it had been surrounded by lava capable of annihilating Universe Masters. Now it was plunging into water capable of freezing Universe Masters to death. Only Star Tower could endure such drastic changes. Eventually, the pyramid slowed enough to float peacefully above the surface. The crisis was over. Luo Feng emerged. Standing 10 meters tall, he looked down upon the endless waters below. A smile appeared on his face. He had arrived safely. Blazing Water Lake. For viewers, this was the reward for taking the most dangerous shortcut. While 5 Chaos Master was still struggling through Lava Ocean, Luo Feng had already escaped and reached an entirely new region. He had chosen the route that looked like certain death. Yet because he possessed Star Tower, it had become the safest route available. Luo Feng couldn't help feeling satisfied, especially when he thought about 5 Chaos Master. That arrogant expert who could rival. Primal Chaos City leader had been forced into desperation because of him. Now 5 Chaos Masters still had to survive several more days inside Lava Ocean. Luo Feng almost laughed imagining it. Hope you make it. After that, he put 5 Chaos Master out of his mind. His attention shifted to his new destination. Blazing Water Lake. Although Blazing Water Lake was dangerous, it was far safer than God-destroying Valley. According to Jai Fanzi's records, hundreds of dangers existed here. However, most Universe Masters could survive them if they prepared properly. Only one phenomenon truly deserved attention. Frozen Lake Fire. This strange blue flame occasionally descended from the sky. Lightning flickered inside the fire. Its temperature was unimaginably cold. Even Universe Supreme Masters preferred not to face it directly. Frozen Lake Fire could destroy top-tier Flying Palace true treasures. When it touched the water, entire regions of the lake would instantly freeze solid. Yet despite its terrifying power, it was not considered extremely dangerous. Why? Because it moved relatively slowly. Universe Masters could usually detect it from far away and avoid it. Furthermore, many areas of Blazing Water Lake permitted teleportation. As soon as Frozen Lake Fire appeared, most experts simply teleported away. For that reason, Blazing Water Lake was considered only moderately dangerous. In fact, it offered several advantages. It was located near God-destroying Valley, one of the richest treasure-producing regions in Universe Boat. True treasures occasionally emerged from the lake itself. The environment was comparatively safe, and opportunities were plentiful. As a result, many powerful experts stationed themselves around Blazing Water Lake for long periods. Just then, shua! Space ripples suddenly appeared above the lake. A figure emerged. A giant being with 4 faces and 16 arms appeared in the sky. Each face displayed a different expression. He had been stationed in the area for a long time. The spatial fluctuation immediately caught his attention. Could it be a true treasure? His eyes swept across the lake. Then he noticed another presence. A human. Huh? The giant expert immediately transformed into a streak of light and flew toward Luo Feng.